To me, traditionally, Prosecco in Italy was and is used as a pre-prandial, where it's something rather than offering a dinner post-prandial like a grappa or a liqueur, a digestivo, an amaro. People like to start the evening with offering something to the clientele, putting them in a wonderful mood and preparing them for the dinner. Invariably what happens is people decide to continue with the Prosecco. Now, we can imagine that many years ago, Prosecco wasn't such a customary habit here. I mean, remember years ago there was maybe one listed, now there are probably a dozen available through the liquor store. So obviously it's gained in popularity, not only in Ontario but throughout the world. And it's quite a phenomenon that maybe people don't really understand. But my theory is that there's a wonderful Italian expression, a tavola non si invecchia mai, one doesn't grow old at the table. And so at the table, whether it's a business luncheon or God forbid you're alone for a meal, but it's always a very festive time. It's a time of sharing. And perhaps interestingly, Prosecco is becoming the new restaurant. And restaurant, originally its meaning was that it was kind of a consommé, it was kind of a bouillon. Restaurant wasn't a place where you would go into the French word restaurer, to restore. So you're restoring yourself at the table, not just physically, of course, but psychically and emotionally and romantically and intimately. And so that something like Prosecco, with its fizziness, with its warmth and excitement, not only does it open the taste buds and stimulate the palate, but it also prepares you for an engaging human time. It's so wonderful with obviously Italy remains a very dominant food culture in the world. I mean, there's a wonderful joke that when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, he found a Neapolitan making pizza. But now, if we were to modernize it, we might always say we found someone offering bollicine. And bollicine is a wonderful generic term in Italian. It means little bubbles. And it refers to Prosecco, but a whole host of other sparkling wines, Prosecco of course being the most popular. And so people will say to themselves in Italian, andiamo per bollicine, let's go out from some little bubbles. So and the fact that it's so diverse, that it can envelop an entire meal, an entire restaurant experiences. And there are many, many different ones. There's some very, very good ones. There's some very basic ones, plebeian ones. In Italy, of course, you can get Prosecco alla spina, like Prosecco as if it were on tap. Those aren't necessarily the best quality ones, but nonetheless, whether it's lower quality and lower price or exceptional quality, the idea is the same, just to make you excited about being alive. The area of Prosecco has obviously extended now to include Friuli, where the town of Prosecco actually is. So it's sometimes associated very much with Venice, not just because of the Bellini from Harry's Bar with the white peach juice, but just the whole nature of Venice. And in Venice, they have these wonderful bars, it's kind of Venetian tapas bars called Baccari, and the Cicchetti, which is a lovely word. And I remember hosting this wonderful woman, Enrica Rocca, who has a great cooking school, great experience. She epitomizes the notion of Venetian hospitality. She has a cooking school, and she's done a wonderful book about Cicchetti. So the Venetians regularly call kind of a drink, late morning, late afternoon drink, an ombra, which means shade in Italian. So people get out of the shade, they grab quite often a Prosecco. And so Prosecco is something that goes very, very well with these Cicchetti, these kind of Venetian tapas. And that also explains a bit its versatility, that you can have it with a lot of different things, and it doesn't have to be a serious meal. But of course, given the kinds of foods that are popular these days, not just in the Italian idiom, but when you think of sort of stir fries and Asian food, this is something that marries very, very well with the kind of a lighter. A lot of people come to the restaurant will have just a salad for a meal. Now, I sometimes wonder why they'll have an amarone, but we should really be considering a Prosecco, because they have all kinds of nuances of flavors, but very, very fresh as well. And it virtually accompanies anything.